Basically, the reason we're here today is we're pleased to announce the arrest of multiple individuals associated with the homicide that occurred earlier this year in September. And basically it's related to a woman in her home that was hit by a stray bullet. So on the 15th of September, just before about 9:45 p.m., an attempted murder occurred at the intersection of 39th Avenue and Masterson Street, in which at least 3 individuals opened fire on a passing vehicle. At that time, Wing Yin Wong, 42-year-old Oakland resident, was inside her residence in the 3600 block of 38th Avenue, and she was struck by gunfire from the attempted murder shooting scene. Patrol officers were alerted to Ms. Wong's location. Officers and emergency medical personnel responded to her location. She was transported from there to the Alameda County Hospital and unfortunately passed away from her injuries. The patrol officers also located the shooting scene at 39th Avenue and Masterson, and were able to start an investigation. Shortly after that, the Oakland Police Department Homicide Section responded and took over the investigation. And just for reference, this area is in the Laurel District, basically 1 block north of MacArthur Boulevard, between 38th and 39th Avenues. On the 16th of November, the Oakland Police Department, with the assistance of the U.S. Marshals Fugitive Task Force, executed 3 search warrants, one in Antioch, one in Oakley, and another one in the city of Oakland. Multiple individuals were arrested that day. Evidence was recovered, and in association with this investigation, we were able to present this case to the Alameda County District Attorney's Office. Mr. Tremont Gray and Mr. Alonzo Dyer were both charged in connection with this case. Mr. Tremont Gray is a 32-year-old Oakley resident. He was charged with murder, shooting at an inhabited dwelling, attempted murder, and shooting at an occupied motor vehicle. Mr. Alonzo Dyer is a 35-year-old Oakland resident. He was charged with being a felon in possession of a firearm and also a prohibited person being in possession of ammunition. This investigation is still ongoing. There are other subjects we are looking for in connection with this case, and we ask that the community provide any additional information if they have something to share about the case, to contact the Oakland Police Department Homicide Section. Thank you. I'd like to turn it over to the mayor.
First and foremost, I do want to thank the Oakland Police Department for working quickly and diligently to identify and apprehend the suspects responsible for this tragic death, this innocent death. OPD investigators worked around the clock to interview witnesses. They collected and followed up on evidence and followed the leads that allowed for the police force to find the shooting suspects. This investigation is a prime example of excellent police work, and I commend Interim Chief Ellison and his whole department, including the specialists, the officers, detectives, and everyone involved in working on this case. I would like to also state that I've been in close contact with the family, and my heart continues to go out to the family and friends of Wing Yin Wong. There's nothing like losing a mother, a daughter, a wife, a partner, and I know that at this moment in time the family does request for their privacy. They lost a mother, a partner, and a friend, and I can't even imagine what they're going through, what they've gone through. And so I pray that this arrest is a step towards justice for them and healing for all who loved and knew Wing Yin Wong, including all of the residents in the city of Oakland. We also know that gun violence is far too common of an occurrence here in our community. And we must continue to better address the root causes of violence while ensuring we have police resources available that help us deter respond to and to investigate these violent crimes to get the perpetrators off the streets. I also want to commend the District Attorney's Office for charging these 2 cases. My administration will also continue to invest in the Oakland Police Department to ensure that we have the resources our officers need to do their work. With new police academies, expanded foot patrols, and partnerships with the California High Patrol, Oakland has more officers on the street today than we've ever did in the last few years. And Oakland is also completing a comprehensive audit in regards to our ceasefire program, which is targeted towards those who are actually pulling the trigger, which we know is a very, very small group of people. We have also enlisted the support of outside consultants as well to do this work, and Oakland was once a national leading model for reducing gun violence, and we will get there again and be better. Yesterday, we did announce the appointment of Dr. Holly Joshi as the Chief of Department of Violence Prevention, and I know that with Dr. Joshi being on board, working with OPD, with ceasefire, and community leaders, that we can bring justice to more families. And so with that being said, I want to just again commend the police department for their great work. Again, I want to give my condolences to the family, and they do ask for their privacy. And at this point, this concludes the speaking portion of this press conference. If you have any questions, OPD will be here to answer them.
Real quick, there's a lot of crime that gets unsolved in Oakland. What was helpful in getting this one figured out so quickly?
Definitely. The community came forward pretty quickly on this particular case. There were a lot of residents and business owners in the area that helped us out with obtaining video surveillance footage, which was a big lift in the beginning of any of the cases that we have, but specifically this one. We were able to get a lot of footage from the area, and then talking to the community members and them sharing what they knew about the neighborhood and different aspects of the folks that were associated with the investigation.
You said that one gentleman is from Antioch. Is this gang related? Why was he here? Any details about him?
So it is an ongoing investigation, so some of the particulars about the relationships with the folks involved, I'm going to hold back on that just so that we can work through the prosecution side of the case. So I don't have anything necessarily to add to that part of the case.
Can you expand any details on how many more people you're looking for? Because you said, there are outstanding people.
So there are at least 2 other individuals that were associated with the initial shooting. And we're looking for the community's help in trying to identify who those folks are.
The two suspects arrested, they did not have a relationship or with Miss Wong, the victim.
No. As far as the investigations have revealed to this point, Miss Wong is not associated with the conflict that led to the shooting. So she was completely separated from the incident as far as we can tell at this point.
How far from the shooting incident was her house?
About 1 block. She lived on 38th Avenue, near the intersection of Masterson Street, and the shooting occurred at 39th Avenue and Masterson Street.
So a full block.
Yes, sir.
Do you have any data on how common bystanders being shot is?
I do not.
And just to clarify, I'm sorry if you already answered, do we believe both defendants were gunning toward the same intended victim on the street, as opposed to they were shooting at each other, that kind of thing?
Sure. As far as we know at this point, and the investigation has led to the fact that the shooters in this case were targeting an individual that was inside of a vehicle passing through the area.
And can you say that person passing through was an innocent motorist, or did he perhaps shot back, or there was no shooting?
As far as the information on that goes, I'm going to refer to the fact that it's an ongoing investigation, and we're not at liberty to share any other details on that at this point.
The 2 people that you said you're still looking for that are related to the original shooting, do we think gunfire from their guns, if they had them, were directed towards that house at all?
I'm going to hold off on answering that just because it's an ongoing investigation.
At this
Are
time,
they associates?
Excuse me?
Are Dyer and Ray associates?
I believe they are, yes.
We have time for two last questions. If there are any.
Is it possible, I know it's an ongoing investigation, but just kind of recreate what the event, the actual shooting was, that led to Brooke being shot?
Yeah, so the conflict portion of this that escalated to the shooting is part of the ongoing investigation. At this point, we believe there was a conflict between the people that opened fire on the vehicle and the individual that was in the vehicle. But as far as the exact details of that, I need to let the remainder of the prosecution play out before we get into any specifics on that.
And just for clarification, the person in the car was hit also, and
No, I don't believe so. Just the vehicle
that
that he was
person
in.
in the car shot back?
I can't specify on that at this point because it's an ongoing investigation.